Birds are such free creatures, not limited by the gravity and pull of the earth. They can soar above the world and all its troubles, looking down with inquisitive and intelligent eyes. As we watch birds, we feel that freedom, and they offer us inspiration and guidance for the questions that trouble us. We've had many bird messengers here for the IKoK, and this week we have one of the highest spirit messengers bringing us a gift of information for the week beginning July 20th. Hi, I'm Krone Auri'An of the International Koalition of Krones, and this week I'm honoured to be able to share a gift from the bird family that is closest to my heart. This bird represents my medicine. I am crow medicine. It's been shown that crow has a similar mental capacity to a 7-year-old child. Crow's hugely curious, and when faced with a problem, will observe the issue closely, working out what may or what may not work, and then he steps to and tries out each of those various options until he succeeds. He's watchful, adaptable, and he understands the mysteries and magics of life. Many people around the world see crow as a symbol of dark times, of death even. They feel that crow is something to be feared when it comes into their life. Others, such as Native American and Celtic peoples, understand crow in a completely different way. They honour the birds for their prophetic knowledge, for the secrets carried between the feathers of their wings, and the wisdom that they teach. Crows symbolise transformation and intuition. We, the collective consciousness of humanity, are in a process of change. Our world is transforming, and it's up to the humans to decide in what manner that transformation will occur. Crow shows us that we shouldn't just jump to conclusions, that if we just blindly follow the trend of other birds, we're not likely to succeed. We need to observe, to work out the energy of the problem, to seek the magic. And once we know we are on a path where possibilities are more likely to become probabilities, when we find the path that gives us the potential of flight into joy, and not the one that is more likely to bring frustration and anger and no reward or little reward, then we can decide how we're going to achieve that goal. I mentioned earlier that I am crow medicine, and although that's a pretty powerful totem to hold, we are known to be a bit on the weird side. Yes, we have vast amounts of personal integrity, but we also have this tendency to sort of shift personalities from one extreme to another, sort of follow the pendulum from easygoing to tense and anxious in a moment, from being helpful to being frustrating, from being happy to being very emotional. It takes an unusual person to be able to work with a crow person, and not many people have the insight and empathy to follow those shifts. And it can cause a whole heap of confusion and misunderstanding. Crows are pretty symbolic of where the collective consciousness of humanity is. There are so many starseeds at either end of the spectrum, and we need to bring ourselves into the middle. We need to seek that balance. We are creative people, and we have an eye for spotting opportunities, and that often helps us find unusual ways to resolve a problem. We tend to think outside the box. Crow can be called upon when you face an issue, especially one that's pretty intense and involves even survival. Sometimes the solution means walking away from those problems, leaving behind the confusions and the misunderstandings that are so easy when crow's involved. Leaving them behind to find that balance, and to find that balance, that often means starting over, dropping what's holding you back, what's causing the confusion, taking a deep breath, and just starting again. When we listen to crows, we generally only hear the loud cawing and occasionally the quieter throat chatter that they use with their loved ones. But crows actually have a really complex language. It's one of the signs of their intelligence, and this unseen complexity holds an important message for us. If we want to understand crow, we have to listen very carefully. We have to observe how they act and who they're talking to, which family member. This lesson becomes really important in today's reality, especially with so much misinformation being pushed around social media. We have difficulty separating the loud cawing from the gentler throat chatter. The loud cawing is so dominant, so we listen to it without really understanding the underlying message. Again, Crow is telling us that we need to tune in to the energy of these conversations, to feel the intent that is in the words. We need to feel whether the words feel secure and safe, or if they're a warning. Even more, we need to be aware that Crow is also known as the trickster. Are the words saying one thing, yet meaning another? Use that intuition. Feel into the energy of the communication. Just think about the number of conflicts and wars that have occurred throughout history, and maybe even more recently in your own family, because someone misinterpreted a conversation. Crows live beyond the constraints of time. They move within the void and are therefore able to see past, present, and future simultaneously. Crow represents the darkness of the void and the light of the sun. In shamanic terms, they are of the inner world and the outer world. Crow is fire energy. He's a representation of creation and of spiritual strength. The blackness of the void is the womb out of which creation occurs. Crow travels to the void and returns with the mysteries and magic of creation. He is the only bird that can fly into the void and return with information. Crow tells us that we need to use our perception and intuition in our world. We need to be prepared for sudden and uncomfortable shifts. We need to be aware of the conversations we engage in. Is the trickster there? Do the words have one meaning whilst the energy says something different? Be discerning. If necessary, walk away. Allow the energy of creation to aid you in reassessing and, if needed, transforming your world. Thank you for joining me in this sacred work of the International Koalition of Krones. I hope that this message from Crow has been helpful for you. May I suggest that you hit the subscribe button below, and you can also follow our work through our Facebook page. The link's just below. I'm Krone Auri'An Lay.